Hello, Piney sixth graders, and once again, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching. Gonna try to keep this video pretty short. I'm getting better at that, you'll notice. Okay, but first we have some shout outs to those people who got the highest scores in our little weather trivia competition on our Zoom chats last week. We had Brandon Crew, Caden, Gabe, Landon, Isabella, Aiden, and Charles. Good work, folks. Those were my people who got 4s out of 5s. Nobody got a perfect score, but then again, I don't think I would have either. There were a couple really tough questions I threw in there at the end. So no matter how you did, I was happy to see you. I was glad you were there for the chat. If you couldn't make it, we missed you, but I understand. Speaking of chats, well, more change, right? Those of you who are on the chats, you know that I announced we can't do required activities or I guess anything but enrichment on Fridays and anymore. And well, Zoom chats are more than enrichment. We really want to make those available to everybody. So after we teachers discussed, the easiest solution is for me to hop in on Mr. Cleveland's chats. You might say, well, Mr. Wire, Monday there aren't Zoom meetings. Well, you may not have any, but some students do. There are some specials teachers, or enrichment teachers meeting on Mondays, and that would require them meeting their moving times or students being double booked if they had to be in my meeting and another student's meeting. Guys, it just wasn't worth it. Mr. Cleveland and I can both get done what we need to get done in one Zoom meeting. It makes less meetings for you to keep track of. Okay, so we really think that's better for everybody. Now, one thing, you only need to attend one meeting if you need to chat with both me and Mr. Cleveland about stuff. So, for example, let's say you had first hour math and second hour science. You're going to say, well, I have both math and science questions. Okay, you don't need to go to first hour and second hour's chat. You'll see both of us first hour. Just go to the hour that you have math. Okay, whatever hour you have math, pop in there. I'll be in there all 4 hours. Let's say you don't have Mr. Cleveland for math. Just go to the hour that you have science. I know you'd be working with your other math teacher on that Zoom chat, but let's say you're in with me third hour. Just pop into Mr. Cleveland's third hour chat. That's no problem at all. So that worked out well our first week. And last week I got to see a solo, but hey, we'll make it work this way. I really think it'll be pretty good in the long run. All right. As for your content this week, remember, third quarter, we talked about heat transfer. And there were 3 ways that he could transfer: radiation, conduction, and convection. Okay, last week, you learned how, well, you didn't learn. For many, it was review. Not every place on Earth is heated equally by the sun. The North Pole and Antarctica are colder than the equator. That wasn't news. As for why it's that way, that may have been news. But if you are buying that idea that the Earth is not heated equally, that has huge, huge implications or effects on weather on planet Earth. Okay, now radiation is what carries heat to planet Earth from the sun. Radiation goes through space, but once that heat gets to Earth, okay, it can change into other forms. So for example, once the ground is heated up by radiation, okay, convection can come into play. And when it comes to weather, convection is super important. Remember, convection is the type of heat transfer where heat is transferred or carried through a fluid. Fluids, you say, oh yeah, liquids, right? Remember, fluids can be gases too. So it could be gases, it can be liquids, but heat is carried by the movement of a fluid. Guess what? The atmosphere is a fluid. And actually, so are the oceans, because oceans have a lot to do with weather. So convection, wow, very, very important with weather. Okay, the atmosphere around us is made of gases. Gases are a fluid, so that means when heat moves in the atmosphere, it's usually moving through convection. If you're saying, wow, Mr. Wire, it's been a while since third quarter, I don't remember all that. One of the videos today, the first one I assigned, is a great review of what convection is. I think you'll really find that useful. Okay, now, as for Edpuzzle and Edpuzzle logins, most of you are in great shape. Most of you are watching those videos. I'm seeing your scores. I'm seeing how many times you've rewatched videos, which lots of you are taking the time to rewatch it if you weren't sure the first time, which is awesome. Okay, keep that up. Now, for those of you who haven't created Edpuzzle accounts, guys, yet, hey, that's really how I'm assigning your science work for this chunk of the unit. It's not just going to be Edpuzzle from here on out, but I'm going to use it a lot. Okay, so if you have not set up an Edpuzzle account yet, folks, you really need to do that. And you're saying, well, Mr. Wire, how do I do that? In the description down below, there will be a link. I'm going to link you back to a video I made about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that will spell out every step of how to create an Edpuzzle account. But guys, that's how you're showing me you're doing work. I can see the view counts on this video, and I know most of you are watching this video, or these videos, which is great. But where you show me the learning is happening is when you watch those videos and click your answers to the questions. Okay, so please make sure you have an Edpuzzle account, and all the videos from past weeks will be lined up there. Even if you haven't done them yet, guys, those of you who have, you could vouch for it. They're not super long. I think you could make them up pretty quick. So this week you'll have 2 videos, both of which cover the same topic, but in a little bit different way. Okay, so hopefully if you're a little confused by this idea of convection and moving fluids and how that would cause wind and pressure and all these things, hopefully at least one of these 2 videos, about 4 minutes apiece, will do a good job getting you there. So I look forward to seeing those of you who want to check in, which is hopefully everybody, on the chat on Thursday. Remember, I'm hopping into Mr. Cleveland's chats. We're doing joint chats, and those happen on Thursday. Those links are on that spreadsheet that we send out every Sunday night. Okay, I'll hit you up Wednesday with another one of these videos, but for now, hope you're doing well, and good luck on those Edpuzzles.